Is the AI the oil of 21st century? This is the topic for Professor of Czech Technical University in Prague, where he founded and heads the Artificial Intelligence Center and Department of Computer Science, a man who was named one of New Europe 100 Significant Innovators in 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, Michal Pěchouček. Thank you for coming. "20 years ago, you were a student of artificial intelligence at the University of Edinburgh. And you were taught that there are two things that artificial intelligence will never be able to do. What two things?"
Yeah, that's a known story. I was a student in Edinburgh, like one of the best AI schools in the world at the time. And they told me that, one day computers will be better than chess players, right? The day came only a couple of years after. Then they told me, but it will never happen that a computer will be better in Go than human players, than Korean players, than Chinese players. It will never happen because Go is too complex. And it happened 2 years ago. And they told me that what's difficult, driving a car, is like a real complex problem. And now it's solved. It's done. It's there.
Did you believe your teachers back then?
Yeah, you always tend to believe, but also you tend to question. In this part of the world, students question students, and they deliberate whether what they are being taught is really true.
Do you feel that your students question you enough?
These days they do, because I encourage them, unlike others.
The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you in the audience, you really follow what tech celebrities like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, or Stephen Hawking are telling about AI, about this big general AI, that it's maybe coming one day, and nobody knows how dangerous, what will be its potential, whether it will conquer human mankind, whether it will eat us alive. I don't know. I disappoint you. I don't know whether this is going to happen. My next speaker may give you more insight in this topic. And the truth is, I don't care that much. And the reason why I don't care is that I care about what's now. I care about current, narrow, vertical, specialized industrial AI, because I think that it's not only as interesting as general AI, but it is full of potential, it can change the world, and it's dangerous. It's similarly dangerous as the future AI. So I'm glad that I was invited to come to you and speak at Singularity, because I will be sharing my opinions with you on what is going on currently and not what is going to come in the future. I'm actually basing my hypothesis and my observation out of my long-term academic career, 25 years at the university, but also through building AI startups. I'm of a strong opinion that people need to really understand AI. This is the only way how we can take the benefit out of AI, and how can we feel safe. And it's important that general public and politicians sit together with technologists and they understand. I was impressed that Barack Obama, in the last weeks of his presidency, made this famous interview with John Ito for the Wired magazine, and he was able really to explain to general public what AI is and what is its potential. He was drawing his conclusion from this famous AI report that he procured his government to produce and to provide. But it's not only Barack Obama. Justin Trudeau is also making Canada an AI country. He has made this deliberate decision that for Canada, oil is not any longer a source of their future wealth, but it's AI. And they've built an economy where in Toronto and Montreal, there are AI startups, AI businesses, big tech companies starting their R&D centers. It's not only US and Canada, but it's also Britain, right? So in 2013, one of the most advanced AI company, DeepMind, was acquired by Google for $500 million, and it was pre-revenue, right? If there is anybody VC, pre-revenue, $500 million, right? And I don't know whether this is a coincidence, but last year when British government were approving the budget, they plussed up $500 million to the budget only on AI research. So Britain is taking AI seriously. China, let us not debate China. In the future, we will see that China will be a superpower in artificial intelligence. I wanted to give you a definition. I just came from my university. I was giving my lecture like a couple of hours ago. It was full of mathematics. Today, you will see no mathematics, no diagrams. This is the only definition, right? So in my world, in the way how I understand AI is a family of tech and its scientific field that allows computers to automate, accelerate, and scale three things that people can do. And people can perceive data, images, videos, sound. People can perceive the environment. People can also reason, make a deductive reasoning, analyze causes and effects, predict. And also people make decisions. People decide what to do. And by this, people are changing the environment. What is interesting is that by perceiving, reasoning, and reasoning, people are making money. People are actually making lots of money. And this is why narrow AI is there to take a fair share. AI wants to take a fair share. Why would be the only people would be taking the benefits of being able to perceive, reason, and take decisions and be paid for this? AI wants to have the same opportunity. And AI is actually taking like really big steps to compete. And if you look around, you see that whenever people are imprecise, slow, inefficient, AI comes and takes the job, right? So I think that this is what narrow AI is. Narrow AI is sweeping human inefficiencies by automating, accelerating, and scaling what people used to do. There are a couple of AIs, right? So as I've explained in my introduction, I'm passionate about narrow AI, this vertical, specialized AI. This is the capability of human machines to take one aspect of human reasoning, human intelligent capability, and to be able to perfect it, replicate it, automate it, scale it, right? For example, you can speak about things like understanding images, video sequences, playing chess, making financial predictions. All those are specialized human capabilities. And whenever a computer is capable of doing the same thing, we call him, it's a narrow AI system. But the truth is, I think there is nothing like a narrow AI these days, because everything is extended AI, AI which is better than human in this particular aspect of human reasoning. That's why we are automating, accelerating, and scaling. There is an opportunity for taking all those narrow or extended AIs, aggregate them across the entire space of human capability, and to create an big artificial reasoning machine. And if we can do this aggregation, we are arriving at what we call a general AI. And Marek Rosa, the follow-up speaker, will be speaking about this. AI is getting better and better every day, and there is no reason why AI should stop getting better. So whenever we have general AI, replica of humans, we just, in the next second, will have a super AI which is better than people. 100 years ago, we saw this interesting event in our history, right? We thought that we continue to have horses and slaves will be the engine of a human civilization. But there was a fossil fuel. So we were able to find out that there is much cheaper, much more efficient, and much more convenient way how to create energy, store it, and transport it. And once we put the energy problem out of the question, we as a human mankind were able to focus on new stuff. We were able to innovate. We were able to bring new businesses, create new businesses, not only for getting oil out of the ground, but also how to transport it, how to get oil from a place to a place, and how to create new businesses that depended on oil. We were able, those 100 years ago, to take the advantage of the external source of energy. So currently we are in the situations where we are taking the advantage of the external source of intelligence. It's similar. AI is there, similar way as oil was helping us 100 years ago. AI is making our lives easy. more efficient, more convenient. We can do transport better than we did before. We can do shopping more, in a more convenient way than we did before. We actually cut friendships easier way than we did before. AI is making our life easier, and not long time ago, in front of us, will be driven by cars without a driver. There is lots of businesses that is being created by AI. There are AI companies that create these core AI engines. There is the AI-enabled economy, businesses that rely on AI. There is lots of wealth being created AI, similarly to how the wealth was created by oil 100 years ago. What's interesting is that in the past, oil divided people. Oil divided countries. There are countries rich on oil, countries that were able to make benefits out of being transporters of oil. There were countries that were able to make benefits out of being consumers of oil. I actually think that AI will divide nations in a similar way. I'm not the only one who thinks so. Even like highly ranked politicians think that capability of understanding and using and developing AI will be dividing nations. There'll be nations with good AI capabilities, and there'll be nations who will be dependent. As you know, in every talk of this kind, I shall give you some numbers. So I kind of looked hard to give you some market data. So in this data I came up with are the data from IDC, market research company, and they are here to support my argument that there is no AI winter coming. I'm old enough to be able to live through a couple of AI winters. Therefore, the times where AI research wasn't as successful, wasn't as fundable, companies were not that interested. So like 80s, late 90s, early 2000s. There are those hypes. And even today, when I speak in the corridor with people, you are asking me, this AI, it's kind of everywhere. Isn't that fake? Isn't this trend that will go away? And I'm telling you, it actually will not go away. When I started cognitive security, the cybersecurity business 10 years ago, people were asking, this cyber, isn't this a wave? Isn't that a piece of fashion? I was like, no, cyber is a problem that will stay for a long time. And similar with AI. AI is eating people's jobs. And currently, there is 80 trillion worth of wealth created by people each year on the planet. And it looks like, people predict that within 2 decades, we'll be replacing half of people's jobs. So divide. And this is where you see what is the ultimate value where AI can dip in. I'm not telling that AI will be dipping in all those $40 trillion US. But this estimate of 46 billion by 2020, I think this is reasonable and doable. So that's why I think that there is no AI winter coming. So. Just to give you an idea about how much money there is in AI these days, so it's like $30 billion in 2016 spent on AI, out of which 90% was in the internal R&D. We have, we are seeing $12 billion in 2016 out of the VCs and PE money. 60% goes for machine learning. Distribution, that 66% is US, 17% China, and 17% rest of the world. This is dated data. Now it's more in favor of China. So I just wanted to kind of give you like early heads up about what actually AI is, right? So this narrow AI is very successful in industries like automotive, driverless cars. They will replace diesel engines sooner than we think. I think that maybe in the next term of Angela Merkel we will see this swap. Cybersecurity is driven by AI. The most part of the cyber defense these days is run by AI. We see AI in banks, and I just wanted to tell you that one of the most successful AI applications that was able to save lots of money were film industry in the past, because people didn't need to use so many actors for massive scenes, and they were saving lots of money in film through AI simulations. So AI is three things. It's ML, machine learning, data analytics, this high performance, super great AI these days, which is all around us. Data, video, sound, images. Then there is automated reasoning, intelligent planning, optimization, which is this important old field of AI, which is there for modeling and building a complex intelligent reasoning that leads to running robots, that leads to, for example, human workforce automation. That is also very important for playing algorithms in chess and Go and poker. And the last piece is decentralized AI, AI which runs interaction between intelligent agents, software and human, AI which runs combinatorial auctions and distributed systems. This is the powerhouse of the internet. The way how we are selling and buying advertisement, which is the biggest source of income on the internet, comes from decentralized AI. Very, very important. So those three fields are the important disciplines of AI research and also AI applications. I wanted to kind of give you something concrete, something specific. I wanted to show you what are the success stories of 2017 so that you can see what actually happened and what was successful last year in artificial intelligence. And this is my personal opinion. So the first one is DeepStack. Who has heard of DeepStack? Have you guys heard of DeepStack? Who has? Okay, a couple of hands. As I was asked about chess and Go, AlphaGo, this is this famous Google-invented AI algorithm that conquers best players in Go. Last year, mankind was defeated by computer in poker. Right? So there is a computer poker algorithm called DeepStack that is better than the best human players. And this is actually Czech trace, because Matěj Mordáček, Martin Schmidt, and William Lissy are three Czech researchers that were the first three authors of this famous paper and of this famous invention. Following the DeepStack success story, DeepMind came over to Alberta, and they have built a DeepMind lab out of this group. So the second important source of value created by AI last year was reported by Amazon. Amazon acquired Kiva Robots. Kiva Robots is a robotic company that became part of Amazon in 2016. Those orange guys, right? And after they deployed those in their warehouse, they were able to reduce the click-to-ship time from 75 minutes to 50 minutes only. Huge savings. As a result of which, they were able to cost the amount of required inventory space by 50%. They were able to reduce the running costs for inventory by 20%, as a result of which they saved $310 million US in 2017. This is 40% of what they have paid for Kiva Robots. It was almost 800 million US. So it's Amazon. Newtonomy. Newtonomy is an interesting startup. It was built by Emilio Fraselli, who is an MIT professor. Currently, I think he's now ETH, but he used to be MIT professor. And they've built this autonomous car startup, like really successful startup that was the first startup that in 2016 built a autonomous taxi operation in the world. It was in Singapore. It was a pilot. It was like a piloting service in like small part of like suburban environment in Singapore. And in the second quarter 2018, they plan to go commercial. So they'll be running a commercial fleet of taxis in Singapore. In between 2016 and 18 and 2017, they became part of Delphi. Delphi acquired this group of researchers for almost $500 million US. Another success story that I saw and I like was Improbable. Improbable Worlds. It's like the second biggest AI startup out of London, out of UK. And these are the guys that are building large-scale, high-fidelity simulation of urban behavior, right? In London is complex. I don't know whether you guys traveled by London Underground recently. This is just mess, right? So you cannot get in the underground. You cannot get on the sidewalk. You cannot get taxi. The transportation in London is just mess, and nobody knows how to run it, how to manage it, how to change it, because there are no data. And improbable worlds are building large-scale AI simulations that are capable of building building systems that give you the answers about situations that have never occurred. Those guys know what happens if a Waterloo Bridge goes bust, for example, right? They tell you what happens if there is a bomb somewhere on Trafalgar Square, and they can plan the evacuation scenarios. And SoftBanks came last year, and they invested $500 million US to support R&D arm of Improbable. So major investment into this company. And the last result that I like very much is a result reported by Netflix. And Netflix reported that they were able to create the wealth of $1 billion US only by improving their machine learning algorithms for recommendation. Recommendation algorithms, it's like it has been here for years. There is no rocket science. It's commodity, right? And this commodity, by getting better at Netflix, they were able to reduce the search time for the right movie for the subscribers. And the study says that if the subscribers are unable to find a movie within 90 seconds, they cancel the subscription. And the reduction of the search time saved 10% of their subscribers, which equals $1 billion of the revenue. So these were the five interesting results out of the last year. Just gave you this chart of those different companies in AI that have been here last year, like Vision, Auto, Conversation Bots, but all sorts of core AI companies. But I don't want to spend more time there. I'll speak about deals. There has been a couple of deals that happened last year in the AI space, and I tell you what, nothing really major. I think that the markets are waiting. Google acquired Kaggle, which is machine learning crowdsourcing platform. Nothing major. They did a couple of acqui-hires in the machine learning space. Facebook acquired Oslo, which is like a Siri-like NLP bot company. Microsoft acquired Maluba, which is a Canadian NLP and a reinforcement learning startup. Apple, they did interesting acquisitions. They bought RealFace, which is image recognition company, but also Lattice, which is a data company. Those are the guys that are creating like good quality data for training ML algorithms out of unstructured data. Really interesting. Amazon did a couple of good deals. I liked Buddy Labs, which is image recognition company that is helping Amazon to give the right sizes of people based on videos and images. And then a couple of small acqui-hires. Spotify acquired Nyland for capability to search through music. Splunk did SignalSense, which is a machine learning acqui-hire similar to Cisco, who also did an acqui-hire in the space of machine learning. People are asking, what are the next big things for 2018? And again, disclaimer, this is my personal view, right? That's my opinion. I think that the world of AI will be asking for learning not only models, hypotheses, results, but learning actionable intelligence. People need what Bradford Cross out of DCVC is calling full-stack AI, so that you get data, and out of data you get a program. Out of the data you get a trajectory. Out of the data you get a logistic schedule, right? So people need to get like fully fledged results that they can plug into their businesses, right? So this call for putting together machine learning together with optimization and planning and automated reasoning, this will be next trend next year. Similarly, explainability. The fact that machine learning, deep networks are not explainable, that we don't know how they come up to a conclusion, it's a big obstacle. It's my personal surprise that our cars will be driven by non-explainable AI, by AI that doesn't explain itself. However, for using the whole potential of AI, for example, in healthcare, which is extremely inefficient, lots of money, lots of financial waste, so I'm sure that AI will come and sweep this whole space, but it needs to resolve inexplainability problem first. So I assume that like lots of results will happen in explainability. in 2018. Adversarial machine learning. AI is under attack. People are trying to attack AI from outside of the world. People are trying to deceive, manipulate, evade AI algorithms, and not only in cyber, but also in e-commerce, and will be in cars, will be in healthcare. And there is lots of requirement to build such an AI that is robust against attackers. So there will be more and more research and more results applied from this field of adversarial machine learning. I've already spotted on the improbable scenario that machine learning is dependent on data. And even now we are seeing lots of scenarios where machine learning doesn't have the data that it needs, quality and scale and size. For example, you would like to machine learn the proper infrastructure for autonomous traffic in like a major city. How would you do this? Because you don't have data, you don't know how people are using autonomous cars. You need to do AI simulations. And people will be simulating quite a bit through AI to get the good quality data that can be used for training machine learning algorithms. And the last one is data markets. People still, and our businesses, and the way how we live, we still don't understand exact financial value of data that we have, that we provide, that we collect, that we exchange. That's a reason why there are no markets. People are not buying, selling data, right? So if you give away some data, you actually don't know how much of financial value you are giving to somebody, right? So I assume that there will be lots of back-end technology created this year to be able to measure, understand, and value data, as a result of which data markets will be created. I would conclude my talk with 4 points where I'm worried about narrow, vertical, specialized AI. Point number 1 is monopoly, right? So we all know that AI is actually manipulating us. We are subject of manipulation, and irrespective whether it's the news feed that we read, or whether it's the stuff that we buy online, or whether it's where we go for holiday. Our choices are heavily influenced by AI. This is for fact. I'm calling for lots of open research, that the AI research is as open as possible. Big tech companies pushing AI open source. I'm so glad for Google that they were able to outsource TensorFlow open source to the research community, that lots of startups and businesses are using the value that Google created for $1 billion US. And I think that monopoly and manipulation in AI is something that we need to be aware of, and we would be debating in the future. Next, security and privacy. Definitely, our dependence on AI makes us vulnerable. So whenever somebody is capable of doing the right set of attacks, the manipulation will bite us in our back. So security is a big problem. It continues to be a big problem. And similar with privacy. I assume that countries will have a different level of AI capability based on what kind of data they have. So, and look around which citizens of which country are giving out data about wherever they go. And those countries will have the best possible data for training the best possible algorithms. Unlike GDPR countries, they will have less data and training less sophisticated algorithms. I'm not claiming any opinion. I need to tell you that privacy is a function of the quality of AI. The last but one is regulation and oversight. So AI, no matter what, but AI will be regulated. We need to be able to understand what kind of AI is driving our cars, what AI is giving me prescriptions when I go and buy medicine, what kind of AI is investing my money. And I believe that human society will be there trying to understand and regulate the use of AI. And the last piece, which is dear to my heart, is jobs, right? Not that there is no jobs these days, there is still plenty of jobs, but in 20 years from now, people predicted that half of the jobs will go. And we all know that mankind needs two things: safety, security, and jobs. And if we are unable to restructure society so that we will be able to operate in the world where jobs will be different, there will be less jobs, people will work less, there'll be much less jobs that will be creating direct economical value, I don't know how the society will function. I'll end up with the results of the Barack Obama procured AI report. And this report says an interesting observation, that 47% of jobs will go in the US, 3.8 million jobs that relate to driving will go immediately. And the last line is interesting, that 83% of jobs that are being paid less than $20 per hour go, and only 4% of jobs that are being paid more than $40 per hour will go. I tell you what, I disagree. I truly disagree. I think that there is an error in judgment. I don't believe this report. And you know why? I think that AI wouldn't be bothered for $20 jobs. AI will come and will take jobs of lawyers because they are expensive. Law practice is expensive. If I automate, I would go and automate lawyers. And this is perfectly doable. People in fintech, people in banking, personal administrators and assistants, managers, hedge fund managers, people who do the financial predictions, these will be the jobs that will go because this is what AI will want and will want badly. The good news is that we still are going to need lots of nurses, social workers, people who work with people. So I see the future divided so that AI will be taking the jobs without people, and people will be going towards jobs where we have people. Thank you.
What do you think is the Czech future concerning artificial intelligence? Will we be able to catch the train, jump on it, and use it to our benefit?
So I tell you what, I think that we are average. I'd be lying if I say that we are on the same league as the other countries that I have mentioned. Czech have one big advantage. We all like coming back to Prague. And I think that what would save us are researchers, scientists, tech people who are abroad and who are coming back. And they would help us. And I actually think that we can catch a train by the talent that is at our universities, it's studying abroad, and is coming back.
Hopefully so. Michal Pěchouček.
Thank you. Thank you.